Hello, Silly Moustache once again. Talking about buying guitars sight unseen and stuff like that, I thought I would make another video about another example of something that happened to me with this instrument. And this was bought sight unseen, used from abroad, the USA, via eBay. So, you know, some uncertainties there. Certainly didn't have a chance to touch it and play it and inspect it before I bought it. And of course, when you buy from the other side of the Atlantic, the likelihood of sending it back and rejecting it is impractical. This appeared on US eBay in 2011. I didn't know about it. I was thinking about getting another 12-string. I had a 1974 D1235 that was in a terrible state. I found out about this one by seeing a thread about it on the Martin forum, and someone had pointed this out as it was weird because it was advertised as a D1220 from 1964. But it doesn't look like a D1220, it looks like a D1235, and it certainly doesn't look like a 1964 model because it looks almost pristine. So questions came about, why is it called a D1220 when it is obviously a D1235? It's a Chinese fake. The seller knows nothing about guitars, he probably stole it, etc. As a result of this, no one on the Martin forum bid for it. So I'd seen the advert by referral from this thread, and I contacted the seller and I asked him these questions. And he explained to me that it had been in his family since before he was born, but it had been neglected, and they lived right on the coast in North Carolina, I believe, and it had warped badly. And so they were thinking about throwing it away or giving it to Goodwill, but it didn't seem right as it just really wasn't playable. Someone in the family decided to send it to CF Martin for an estimate, which was a couple of $100, and so they accepted it, thinking they'd be able to sell it for something more. And this was in 1998. Guitar came back in perfect condition. Nobody knows exactly how much of the original guitar is here, but it came back with this 35 trim. That means a bound neck, this black, white, black, white, 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 black trim like this, an ebony bridge and an ebony fretboard, never on a D1220. And furthermore, it had an adjustable truss rod. These warp-likely models of 12-string guitars never had adjustable truss rods, as they were made from 1964 to 1991. Now, many Americans are understandably wary of shipping out of what they call CONUS, continental United States, but I offered to pay his price without arguing, plus his quote for shipping it to the UK. And I had to convince him that I was square, but in our dialogues I got the definite feeling that he was square and being straight. He came back with a shipping price, I agreed it, and I paid it by PayPal. It arrived safely in the UK, and with the Martin documentation, the Martin repair documentation, which didn't detail much, but it definitely told me that it had been back to Martin's. Now, the points that I want to make about this, I didn't assume dishonesty. I didn't assume that he was a thief or anything like that. I did start a dialogue with him. I asked him all sorts of questions. He obviously he was a guitarist, but he was mainly an electric guitarist. He didn't know much about it. He put it up a D1220 because that's what it said inside. I didn't go for a bargain. I didn't go for the deal. his price converted into pounds with the shipping here was still a reasonable price. I wanted the guitar, not a bargain. And I bought it in good faith, and I took a risk. It could have arrived as firewood, but it didn't. It arrived like this, and it was beautiful, and it remains beautiful. I had a little setup done on it, minimal. After a while, I got some new tuning machines because the old ones did look like 1964 and they were literally rusty. So I got some good tuners for it, and I put some bone pins in it simply because I liked it, and at one point I had a K&K bug fitted in it, which works fine. Occasionally I have to adjust that truss rod seasonally. Hasn't been necessary. And I haven't taken this out of its case for about a month, and it's in tune. It plays more in tune than it probably did when it was original. So this is just the points I wanted to make. I didn't assume dishonesty. I started a dialogue. I always have a dialogue with someone that's selling something on eBay or anywhere else. I didn't go for the bargain, I went for the instrument. If you pay an extra £50 or £100 or whatever, that will disappear into memory after a while, if you've got the instrument that you wanted. And I bought it in good faith. I took a risk. And as has all of my purchases, I bought 3 guitars from the States and many more via eBay in this country. No one's really tried to fiddle me. So there we are. That's Andy's recipe for buying a guitar sight unseen. But of course then, like I said in the previous thing, you've got to work them up and get them used to you and get used to them. Okay, if you have been, thanks for watching. Bye.